Jai Hind, sir. Jai Hind. Namaskar. The very confident Congress, very confident of everything, and now they're very confident also because of the fact that the surveys have,
Yes, sir. And sir, the most important thing आपने कहा कि they have regional leaders. Everybody is a regional leader, state chief ministers. In fact, कर्नाटक में दो थे. They had competition को किसको CM बनाए. सिद्धरामैया, DK शिव कुमार.
So is the case in Rajasthan.
Exactly.
एक अशोक गहलोत, एक सचिन पायलट.
बिल्कुल. अब दिग्गज नेता बना के रखे.
मध्य प्रदेश में देखिए कमलनाथ जी हैं. अपने छत्तीसगढ़ में भूपेश बघेल साहब हैं. जबरदस्त है सर. बीजेपी को क्या हुआ मुझे मालूम नहीं. एक जमाना था प्रदीप जी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के जो प्रादेशिक नेता हुआ करते थे वो जबरदस्त हुआ करते थे. दैट वाज देयर स्ट्रेंथ. तो वो स्ट्रेंथ जो डिस्ट्रॉय हो गई है, ऑल बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज फोकस्ड कंप्लीटली एंड टोटली ऑन मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी.
And other way to look around is Narendra Modi actually delivered.
Yes.
Now, where we are from Maharashtra में Munde Mahajan was a force, but even them being a force, BJP was always number 4.
Yes.
After Modi's takeover, resurgent BJP after 2014, you look at BNC में करीब 30-35 के ऊपर तो कभी BJP जा ही नहीं रहा था.
कभी नहीं गए.
And immediately it went to around 84 for 2014.
और आज भी प्रदीप जी जो जिस प्रकार फॉर एग्जांपल अभी गजरिया साहब हमारे साथ थे, जिस प्रकार उन्होंने कहा कि देखिए ये ओबीसी का जो मुद्दा है ये जान के जो उठा रहे हैं, अगेन दे आर ट्राइंग टू डिवाइड ऑल दी ओबीसीज. जो ओबीसीज हैं उनको जान करके ये लोग डिवाइड करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, जो पिछड़ी हुई जातियां हैं. क्योंकि देयर हैज बीन ए हिंदुत्व कंसोलिडेशन अगेंस्ट अंडर मिस्टर मोदी. जो हिंदुत्व कंसोलिडेशन है उससे बहुत लोग डर गए हैं, सीधी बात है. और दूसरी चीज क्या हुई है, मुसलमान वोट में जो पसमंदा मुसलमान हैं उनके अंदर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने बहुत अच्छा अपना काम शुरू कर दिया है. दे आर कंप्लीटली एंड टोटली एंड एब्सोल्युटली डेडिकेटेड ओनली टू द आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया. दे आर नॉट कंसर्न्ड विद एनीबॉडी एल्स. देखिए साहब, पैलेस्टाइन में क्या हो रहा है, इधर क्या हो रहा है, उधर क्या हो रहा है, दे आर नॉट कंसर्न्ड. व्हाट दे आर कंसर्न्ड अबाउट इज कि भाई भारत में क्या है. क्योंकि आज की तारीख में एक तरफ अजलाफ हैं, एक तरफ अशराफ हैं. जो अशराफ हैं उन्होंने अजलाफ जो हमारे पासमंदा मुसलमान हैं उनको बहुत बुरी तरह एक्सप्लॉइट किया है. इसको लेकर के सब पार्टियां जो हैं बहुत ज्यादा चिंतित हैं प्रदीप जी.
सर ये जो ओबीसी राहुल गांधी जी ये दिखा रहे हैं कि ओबीसी एससी एसटी 84%. तो राहुल गांधी जी स्टैंड इज दैट 84% ओबीसी प्लस needs to have upliftment, social empowerment. तो he is taking into his entire जो ring है, बोलते हैं कि हमारे consolidation 84% he is trying to target that. But ये जो जातीय जनगणना, he doesn't understand that Prime Minister Modi is an OBC himself.
Yes.
Now this might turn the other way around when he says
not only that
I am the most appreciated, most wanted, most liked Prime Minister, and I'm an OBC. And it's a dangerous combination.
It's very dangerous for the Congress.
Yes.
Because the largest number of OBC ministers, the largest number of OBC MPs are from the BJP.
बिल्कुल सर.
आज की तारीख में सबसे ज्यादा OBC members of parliament बीजेपी से हैं, सबसे ज्यादा OBC मंत्री बीजेपी से हैं. तो आप मतलब क्या कर रहे हैं. और तीसरी बात क्या है, प्रेसिडेंट जो बनाया गया आज की तारीख में, शी इज फ्रॉम ए शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब.
बिल्कुल.
उसके पहले शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट. तो जहां तक कांग्रेस का सवाल है, कांग्रेस हैज हैड वन शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट प्रेसिडेंट, बट आफ्टर दैट व्हाट? You refused, and how can you even kind of in terms of trying to attract the Muslim vote towards yourself? It is the Congress who opposed the second term for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It is the BJP who had proposed his name for a second term. कांग्रेस ने अपोज किया, जिसकी वजह से APJ अब्दुल कलाम साहब हार गए. तो जहां तक कांग्रेस का सवाल है, कांग्रेस रोल हैज बीन समवॉट एम्बिगुअस. देखिए साहब, जहां तक स्टेट का सवाल है, स्टेट इलेक्शन का सवाल है, आई एग्री. State में the Congress is doing quite well. They're concentrating on local issues. They're concentrating on price rise, on joblessness, on shutdown of small businesses and so on and so forth. और उसके अलावा वो कह रहे हैं कि साहब मुफ्त में बिजली देंगे, मुफ्त में पानी देंगे, लेडीज को मुफ्त में ट्रैवल देंगे, और उसके अलावा there will be a scholarship or retainer for ladies.
The safety and security needs of the entire population,
yes,
where the state is concerned. So safety and security, mein food, thirst, hunger, everything is being fulfilled by the Congress. At least they are doing it. They are talking about it, and the poor man is only concerned about his food from where it is coming. I mean, ठीक है, flyovers है, infrastructure development है, ये है वो. He's concerned, as Mahatma Gandhi, we always quote him, even God cannot approach a poor man except in the form of food.
Absolutely.
So, the things that Congress is promising, वचन, 5 वचन, 11 वचन, 7 वचन, ये जो 5 स्टेट में लगातार इस प्रकार से कह रहे हैं कि we are going to do this. So that is, inciting people, I mean, to vote, move towards them, luring people into them, luring
but
people into them.
Pradeep ji, the manner in which the Congress first fumbled with regard to the Hamas attack in Israel, and then they came back and then corrected themselves and then recorrected themselves. Do you think that will have an impact on the so-called Muslim vote? Because the fact remains, irrespective of howsoever much we deny it, the Indian Muslim population has a very large sympathy, large amount of sympathy for the Palestinians. And till now, even now, there is no full condemnation of the Hamas atrocious attack on the 7th of October in Israel. आज तक नहीं है साहब.
Sir, the Indian Muslim population around 18 to 20, 14 to 20%, 20% somewhere in UP and all states में 20% के आसपास है. They today slowly believe that we have to vote for a party that can defeat the BJP. Till now they have been voting for the regional parties. Now this Indie alliance, they have to think beyond the Indie alliance, and they have to think about, and they are thinking like in Karnataka, en masse the whole Muslim population vote for the Congress.
Vote shifted to the Congress.
Congress.
Yes.
Totally. They said, why we need an intermediary, third party ke through kyun jana? We are voting directly with the Congress. And that is making changes. And slowly they are believing that only Congress is capable of defeating the BJP.
Ji.
So definitely they are thinking about voting. Now, if you talk to the Muslim population, yes, but even they have, smoothened down. जो earlier उनके whenever this Israel-Palestine conflict was there, the mood of the nation was such, where the Muslim population was concerned, was totally in favor of Palestine, and they used to openly come out with rallies, slogans, morchas,
and would destroy property.
Yes,
Here in India.
as
if Israel owns that property.
दिखने को नहीं मिला because Congress is consolidating. While it's consolidating, it doesn't want to make mistakes that in one go will, break up all its consolidation.
दूसरी चीज क्या है कि साहब, there is also the fear of people like Yogi Adityanath, the fear of what Mr. Modi can do to them,
Yes,
the fear of the retaliation from the government at the center.
Bilkul.
Let's be very clear, because there was one small little rally at the Aligarh Muslim University carried out by students. Beyond that, we haven't heard of very much in terms of support for the Palestinians or support for Hamas over here in India.
In fact, as you quoted, there were many religious leaders, especially Muslim
Yes.
scholars, talking about this is not Islam. Hurting innocent lives, hurting small children, cutting the throats of infants, or butchering people who have come for a music festival. This is not part of Islam, because ये इनसे क्या लेना देना? Why are you doing a jihad against these people? इनसे क्या है? These are innocent people who never knew about these kind of assaults.
दूसरी क्या है? The Holy Quran itself says, the Prophet, may peace be upon him, he himself says, during a war, there are the rules of war that you have to follow. You cannot attack old people, you cannot attack women, you cannot attack children. It's very simple. Here, we actually saw images of these Hamas terrorists carrying a naked woman tied to a jeep. With their legs on top of her,
and people spitting on them,
and other people spitting on her. I mean, come on. You can't justify that. I agree. For the last 75 years, Israel has a lot to answer for. Israel was, carved out of Palestine, as the Palestinians themselves say, hey, listen, we had nothing to do with the Holocaust that the Jews had to undergo during the Second World War. हमारा उसमें क्या लेना देना भाई? लेकिन आप आ गए, आपने हमारी ज़मीन उठा करके इजरायलियों को दे दी. इसमें हमारी क्या गलती है? I mean, can you imagine? Suppose, say 2000 years earlier, there was some kingdom or the other somewhere in India, and all the big powers decide to come together and say, hey, आज के बाद
we'll carve this out of your kingdom.
ये जो है, ये हिंदुस्तान में इनका किंगडम रहेगा. अरे क्या मतलब हुआ भाई? ये क्या है? मतलब सीधी सादी बात है. But the only thing is, now you can't go back. Now you have to deal with the fait accompli. The problem is the Palestinians and all the other organizations that support them, including the Hezbollah, including the Hamas, including, you know, there are so many other terrorist organizations operating over there, all dedicated to a violent extermination of Israel. They say they don't want to live in harmony with Israel. They want to destroy Israel. That's what they say. Now, मरता क्या ना करता, they'll fight back. और तीसरी चीज क्या है प्रदीप जी, बहुत बड़ी बात है, हर एक कोई ये बोल रहा है, they are forgetting about what took place on October 7. October 7 में 1200 लोग आपने निहत्थे लोगों को मार दिया, ठीक है साहब, बेरहमी से उनके गले काट दिए, उन्होंने पता नहीं क्या कुछ कर दिया, ठीक है साहब, उनकी औरतों को मारा, उनकी औरतों के साथ बलात्कार किया, आदमियों के साथ भी बलात्कार किया हो तो और छोड़िए। अब वो कह रहे हैं कि क्योंकि इजराइल बमबारी कर रहा है गाजा के ऊपर, वहां पर लोग मर रहे हैं, एग्रीड, लोग मर रहे हैं, बच्चे भी मर रहे हैं, बट Hamas is located right there in the residential areas. Now, how do you hit Hamas? My point is how? अगर आपको हमस को डिस्ट्रॉय करना है और तो आपको गाजा के अंदर जाना पड़ेगा, और गाजा के अंदर आप कैसे जाएंगे? फर्स्ट यू विल हैव टू सॉफन द एंटायर टारगेट अप बाय एरियल बम्बार्डमेंट एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट.
So they believe, Israel believe that doing precision attacks on Hamas hideouts and Hamas strongholds, and Gaza is full of them.
Yes.
That's what they're operating from. And general Palestine population, Hamas was not a part of the entire the governance process. They was probably a militant outfit that was a rebel. That was a rebel to the existing government.
Till they won the elections.
Bilkul.
Till the 5 years ago, Hamas actually won the elections.
Bilkul, sir.
And they conned the Israelis into believing that, hey, we have changed. We have become very peaceful now. We believe in the political process. And this kind of an attack which took place on Israel was about 2.5 years in planning. 2-2.5 साल लगे हैं इसको planning में, sir. ये इतनी जल्दी नहीं होता है.
And that cannot be done without some very high power being in the background, because this kind of precision, this kind of spontaneity, this kind of absolute suddenness and taking everybody by surprise, trying to camouflage and destroy the Iron Curtain. The Iron Curtain was deceived. Now all these things will come out only of proper precision training of somebody, a bigger worldwide power who was behind this Hamas attacks. And if you see the other way of looking at it, there was consolidation of Ukraine, where all the Western and the allies were thinking of financing, not only financing but also providing equipments and ammunition to bolden and strengthen the Ukraine against Russians. Now the entire focus of all the allies and US has become Israel, and it's come back to the Middle East. So Russia has in fact gained most out of this entire episode. If you look at geopolitical, आप इसको study करोगे तो इसमें ऐसी लग रहा है कि what was going to actually happen a war between Russia and Ukraine.
और दूसरी चीज क्या है प्रदीप जी, जो आपकी बात है बिल्कुल दुरुस्त है. Now the focus has shifted entirely to Palestine. Nobody's talking about Ukraine anymore. The other thing is what people forget. 1967 में मैं आप लोगों को याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ, there is something called the Black September. याद रख लीजिए 1967 Black September. ये जो सारे पैलेस्टीनियंस हैं ना, ये सब जॉर्डन में रहा करते थे. And then suddenly they started interfering in the internal politics of Jordan. The late King Hussein ordered his army led by, guess who? Then Brigadier Ziaul Haq. The same General Ziaul Haq, who later on became President of Pakistan. The same Brigadier Ziaul Haq led the 2nd Division of the Jordanian army into all the Palestinian camps, killing God knows how many Palestinians, we don't know. Maybe over 30,000. 30,000, over 22 to 30,000 Palestinians were killed by the Jordanian army led by then Brigadier, later General Ziaul Haq. For that, Ziaul Haq was awarded the highest honor of the Kingdom of Jordan. So what Moshe Dayan said, by the way,
that is the stars that display on the chest.
Yes, the Star of Jordan. General Moshe Dayan actually said, Ziaul Haq, the Jordanian army led by Ziaul Haq, killed more Palestinians in 11 days than Israel killed in 20 years. Israel was formed in 47-48. I'm talking about 1967. More Palestinians were killed by the Jordanian army led by General Zia of Pakistan than the Israelis could kill in 20 years. तो 20 साल में इजरायलियों ने इतने फिलिस्तीनी नहीं मारे जितने जॉर्डन की आर्मी ने मारे हैं, तो उनके बारे में कोई बात नहीं करेगा प्रदीप जी।
बिल्कुल
इस विषय के बारे में अगर आप किसी से भी बात करेंगे, especially our friends from the Muslim side, they will not talk about that. They will only talk about what is going on right now. The fact remains, nobody wants the Palestinians. No Arab wants the Palestinians. आज भी for example, गाजा से उनको निकलने के लिए कहा है, उनका भाई साउथ साइड से निकल जाइए. That's where Egypt is. Why don't the Egyptians open up their doors and ask the Palestinians to come into Egypt? वहाँ पर उनके लिए कैंप बना दीजिए, कुछ बना दीजिए, रेफ्यूजी कैंप बना दीजिए. क्यों नहीं बना रहे आप? Why don't Arab nations help out? Why don't they house the Palestinians in their lands?
Or Turkey open their doors.
Yes, let them open their doors. Why don't they open their doors? Or let the Iranians, let them invite all the Palestinians to come and stay with them. After all, Hamas is supposed to be an arm of Iran, so is Hezbollah. So, and as the Iranian president said, we kiss the foreheads of all those people who have done this. He actually said that. The president of Iran, Khamenei, he actually said, we kiss the foreheads of all the people who have committed that atrocious, horrible terrorist attack in Israel, where women were raped, children were slaughtered, people were killed, young people were killed. 260 students, 260 young people at a music festival. एक म्यूजिक फेस्टिवल में 260 यंग लोगों को, युवकों को आपने मार दिया, युवकों युवतियों को आपने मार दिया, औरतों को आप किडनैप करके ले गए. मतलब I don't really understand. And the worst part is, I agree, there are some clerics, especially from Uttar Pradesh, जिन्होंने इसको कंडेम किया, जिन्होंने कहा है कि कुरान शरीफ में ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं लिखा, जो आपने किया है वो बिल्कुल एंटी इस्लामिक है, सीधी सादी बात है. लेकिन आम जनता से आप पूछिए, बाकी सब लोगों से आप पूछिए, आज की तारीख में भी वो हमास के साथ खड़े हैं, which I think is very
because
strange.
I think, sir, what you're talking about, it prevailed. This prevailed earlier.
Yes.
And now, once the country's leadership has taken a stand,
Yes.
you find you find these things in murmurs. ऐसा होना चाहिए. Nobody wants to come out in the open. Open was not openly just प्रकार से denounce करते थे पहले anything to do with Israel.
Yes.
That is not happening. Now slowly people have been forced to condemn the Hamas terror attacks and then said we want this to stop. Mr. Modi was first to support, says Israel is facing what India was facing from 2004 to 2014. Bomb blast every year. Terror attacks every year. And we never retaliated. We were just accepting it as even something that is bound to happen, self-evident. But now we are retaliating, and we also accept and believe in Israel's right to retaliate. When the Prime Minister Modi made it absolutely clear that he believes in Israel's right to retaliate, I mean, the message was all across the country.
But the fact remains that every country has a right to defend itself, has a right to its own security, has a right to defend itself. Whatever may have occurred in the past, आप कहें कि भाई फिलिस्तीनियों की आपने ज़मीन आपने हत्या ली, बहुत लोग उनके मर गए, ना जाने क्या कुछ हुआ वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, ये सब आप लोग कह रहे हैं. लेकिन इजरायलियों ने आज तक कभी जाकर के औरतों को पकड़ के उनका बलात्कार नहीं किया. इस किस्म की घिनौनी हरकत आज तक कभी नहीं की. You remember that there's that horrible footage of that girl who was screaming out for a boyfriend who was also being led away. I don't know why we are not showing it. I think we are showing just one 15-second footage in one loop. I don't know why. I really don't know why we are doing it. We have the other footage. I don't know why we are not showing it. Anyway, maybe we have a Hamas supporter amongst our staff, perhaps. But all I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, all the entire civilized world will have to stand together to see that these terrorists are destroyed once and for all. There should be zero tolerance for terrorism everywhere, including Pakistani-sponsored terrorism against India. Against Pakistani-sponsored terrorism against India, all that will have to be destroyed. There has to be zero tolerance. As Mr. Modi said, every country has the right to defend itself and to retaliate.
G7 हो गया, G20 हो गया, various association, ASEAN हो गए, wherever possible, wherever Mr. Modi is being called, he's espousing this cause, end to terror, zero tolerance to terror, And all these things are not only, first it was just a deaf ear. Today people have begun to listen to that, and they're all a part, a signatory to these kind of accords. That we denounce terrorism. Terrorism has no place in civilized society, and the right to retaliate too. Now slowly this is becoming an accepted fact, which Mr. Prime Minister Modi always says that पहले लोग बोलने पर भी लोग सुनते नहीं थे, नहीं, that's happening some part of India, it's not a terror strike and it's happening internal disturbances. But today they have begun to denounce, accept terror and the need for everybody, the whole world, to unitedly fight it and to retaliate.
Absolutely,
and stop it
absolutely.
down. Now you need to give a lot of credit of the changing political positions in India also, and the strong leadership. One is having faith on its leader, and second is the leader showing that faith that people bestow upon him and acting accordingly. And he has done very few, whatever you call it, whatever criticism you want to give it, but Mr. Modi has performed at the highest level in international circles, and he has put across India's vision, India's absolute need, the people, what the people of India want, and that has been displayed in every platform internationally. And
that's
that
right.
Appreciation has to be given to Prime Minister Modi.
Absolutely, and most importantly, let's be very clear, there has to be zero tolerance for terrorism of any kind anywhere in the world, including the one directed at India. I still don't know why we are not showing the Hamas attack. I still don't know. I mean, this is the attack, this is the Israeli retaliatory attack on Gaza. जो हमस ने अटैक किया, वो कॉन्सर्ट के ऊपर लोगों को मारा, बाकी सब किया, वो सब हमारे लोग क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे, मुझे मालूम नहीं है. Maybe after the show we can actually discuss it with them as to why they are not showing it.
They want to show the retaliation.
God
they are
knows.
only concerned about the retaliation.
God knows. I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on over here. But in any event, that's just about it as far as we are concerned. I think we have the guest from the MNS. Is Mr. Pathare with us? All right, he is not with us as yet. Is he coming? If he is coming, fine. If he is not coming, we can end the show right here. I don't think we can wait till 8:45. That will be very, very long. So, as far as we are concerned, we are done. That's it. Do we have any comments?
Lots of comments today, actually.
Do we have any comments today? Well, fine. Can we have the comments on, please? Since you don't want to show the Hamas attack on innocent Jews, let's take a look at the comments. जी comments दिखाएं. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra back on track means dedicated goods corridor track. Yeah, kind of. Or kind of. चलिए आगे बढ़ें. चलिए. This was Mr. Asif Faruqi. Mentals. Are we going to select Joker of the Nation or what? MNS Naidu. That's what he says. This was Mr. Arun Sawant. Arun Sawant, sir. That's what he says. There was a lovely comment in Marathi as well. I hope we have that too. I'm reasonably certain. I'm sure we would not have that. Because there was a beautiful comment in Marathi also that had come. I thought so. Chaliye. Rahul Gandhi will go through rough times from December to June. He should be careful with his health. This seems like an astrologer. And should keep a distance from the crowd. Totally avoid mingling with the crowd. If he avoids mingling with the crowd, the Congress will lose. G. Rangarajan Karur, 957. Do we have anything else? Again, Mr. Asif Faruqi, Rahul is the best man for feeding pigs of Mr. Raghu Reddy. Why you like pigs? I mean, you like pork? I don't know. Maybe. Eknath Shinde works 24/7. Pradeep ji, आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा.
एक नंबर विश्लेषण साहेब आपल्या stuff. आपल्या अभ्यास
आपका अभ्यास और विश्लेषण और रिसर्च आपकी बहुत जबरदस्त है और असलेली भूमिका आमच्या सारख्या कार्यकारिणी वल देणारी ठरते. जय महाराष्ट्र जी.
It gives a lot of confidence to me.
Give a lot of confidence to the party cadres and things like that. Yes. Right, that's just about it. As far as tonight's show is concerned, आज के शो में सिर्फ इतना ही. आप सभी लोगों को प्रदीप जी और मेरी तरफ से नवरात्र की एक बार फिर बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. आज तीसरा दिन है नवरात्रि का. जय माता दी. आप सभी लोगों को फिलहाल जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी, वंदे मातरम.
वंदे मातरम.
है।